Akimashite omedetou gozaimasu. Kotoshi mo yoroshiku onegai shimasu.
31.8. 28826.
The National Weather Service in Indianapolis are trolls. I don't think I can say it any way better than that. This New Year's, I spent most of my time working on my 2 online games, as well as watch the Weather Service to see when it was that I could make my next motorcycle ride for the PBC Challenge. Entertainingly, however, it would seem that the National Weather Service has no idea what the weather is actually going to be. Every time I checked, they seemed to change their idea what the forecast was going to be. Quite literally, at one point I was looking at the forecast, and the forecast high said it was going to be a high of 32, and then the actual temperature was 40. And then about an hour later, they changed the high temperature prediction to 48, and the actual temperature dropped down to 37. It had no logical sense whatsoever. Perhaps I'm just cynical because I come from Houston, where basically the weather is the same thing every day, more or less. So when I look at the weather forecast, it basically is right, and when they say it's going to get cold, it gets cold, and it's very close to being what they say. But this ride is one of those cases in point. Midway through New Year's Eve, they said that the weather would continue to fall down through New Year's, and it would be 32 degrees or lower by 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and maybe later on Monday it would snow. Maybe, just it would be a chance, not much of one. And all through the night I'm watching it, and it seems like they're running different models every 20 minutes. I'd look on it, and then one would say, it's gonna blizzard, and then the next said, oh, it's gonna be fine, there's not gonna be any snow, and then it's gonna blizzard, and it's like, I couldn't follow it. So we get through most of New Year's Day, and it's the middle of the afternoon, and oh, now maybe 9 o'clock, it'll be below freezing. At least they finally got that one right. However, they were still saying, oh, it's just a chance of snow, just a little chance, just a little one. Of course, you can't really see it in the ride, but it was flurrying the whole time I was riding. Then basically on the trip home, it actually started snowing, and I really wish the snow had come out on the video, because I've never ridden while it's snowing before. There's an Arctic front that's come through, and it's got some really nice winds. Winds are blowing 30 or so, gusting to 50. Normally I wouldn't even complain. But when you're sitting here going, it's flurrying, the surface is getting wet, it's gonna get icy, not exactly making me the happiest person in the whole world. So as you see at this point, I've given up on the freeway for now. And I'm trying to find some place where I can actually show how hard it's blowing, and it's really hard to find anything that's really good. So I pull off here at Squealer's Barbecue. Gratuitous clip video. Considering there was no solid forecast, none of the works departments had put out salt, so I really wasn't sure how long the roads would hold up, so I went ahead and headed back home. I'd say the most fascinating thing about riding in the snow is it doesn't stick to the visor. I don't really know why that is. I guess the visor's just cold enough that it doesn't stick, but it's just funny that I could hear it hit and then roll right off. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I'm looking at the weather forecast now, trying to decide if I want to chance a ride today, and it's saying that there's now, through this afternoon, a chance of about up to an inch of accumulation. And prior to this, they were just saying traces, so it's hilarious to me. And about the only thing that's keeping me from going out is the wind. It's, again, I don't have a problem with wind, I just have a problem with wind and the fact that the bike will move out from underneath me, or I have to put in control inputs and it's going to hit ice or something. That's my only mental block there. And by next weekend, the lows are going to be in the upper 30s again. So the PBC Challenge season is not going extremely well. It's funny to think that while this is my shortest ride of the 2011-2012 season, it's still longer than my entire mileage for the 2010-2011 season. In fact, I've almost done 21 times the mileage of my 2010-2011 season. Which does make me wonder, is there anywhere where we have consolidated the results of all of the PBC challenges? Yes, I can go back to the post from last year and I can see that, Navy Thomas had the most rides with 71. Carry 1982 V6 had the most mileage at 1,094. The lowest temperature from last year was taken by Everyday Riding at -21 Fahrenheit. And of course, I can go back a little bit further and I can see the 2009, 2010, where we can get the tops on those, where we can see that Red and White Rebel got the most miles at 649. Lowest temperature was 1 degree for Navy Thomas 8, and Navy Thomas had the most rides of 23. It's amazing how much that has changed in the years. But those are all like top 10s. But I guess I'm curious about the history for each rider. Any thoughts? 30.2. $288.79. And the snow just stopped, of course. Well, that trace of snow that wasn't supposed to accumulate, well, it accumulated, and they didn't put any salt down. So it's icy snow, and with the winds, it's just not worth going out today.